I have to admit, when I was young, when I was like 10 years old, I would listen to jazz tunes, and after the melody was over, I thought that people, the musicians, would just gel out and invent whatever, whatever, just play whatever. Greetings, I hope you're all doing fine. In this workshop, we're going to talk about getting inside the song. Now, you may have noticed that I am at an abandoned train station here. Okay, you have all these trains that are pretty much, abandoned. And I think it proves a great point for the theme of our workshop today. What does getting inside the song mean? It means having it so embedded in your system that you don't have to think about technicalities anymore, like following the form, outlining the structure, things like this that are very basic musical necessities to play, a song. Those things have to be ingrained in you. They have to come out of you without any effort at all. When you don't have the song ingrained, let's say when you're not inside the song, you become like these abandoned trains. What that means is you have this directionless, aimless kind of sound that you really, really want to avoid. When you don't have the song embedded in your system, you just flounder around. And believe me, musicians notice it, okay? Other musicians are gonna know you are lost in the song. So what you have to do is follow the steps I'm gonna give you to improve this situation and not let yourself just be guided around by whatever emotion or whatever feeling you might come up with in the moment when you don't have an idea of what to do, okay? Your ideas have to come from structure. Your ideas have to come from a place where you absolutely know how to paint inside the frame, let's say. Let's say if you have a painting and you're a painter and you're painting outside the canvas, that's never going to make it to the eye of the person who wants to see it. One of the tunes that really hit me right in the gut was 7 Steps to Heaven. Written by Victor Feldman and played by Miles Davis. This song impacted my whole life. When I heard this tune, I just couldn't get it out of my head. I just kept singing it over and over. It was so great, and the way Tony Williams played on that track, my mind was just blown. And when I really got inside the tune, I've played this tune thousands of times in my career. Every type of arrangement you can think of, Latin, odd meter, straight ahead, whatever, I've done it. This tune really made me realize that to play it well in any context and to play it in a way that I can deliver my soul in every version, I had to have this. These are abandoned train tracks, by the way. No trains are here, so I'm not in danger. But I finally realized, when I heard that song, that there was a direction, a scope, a concept, many concepts in achieving the delivery and intention of the piece. When you have direction and you know about resolution points, and know how to function within a form. You know what instruments are supposed to do, like the cymbals, the bass drum. Then you become like this. Tracks are the structure. Okay? Each station, each train station is a resolution point. The end of the line is the end of the song. The beginning of the line is the beginning of the song. So I want you to start thinking in these terms because it's very, very important. I have to admit, when I was young, when I was like 10 years old, I would listen to jazz tunes, and after the melody was over, I thought that people, the musicians, would just gel out and invent whatever, whatever, just play whatever. I could not distinguish, the musical structure. I was just 10 years old and nobody taught me how to do anything. So you cannot be like that as a professional player, obviously. Maybe even to the listener it's going to sound like that. That's why a lot of people think jazz is like chaos or uncontrolled, when in reality it couldn't be further from the truth. It is very, very controlled, and let's say within that structure you can create chaos if you want. But the thing is that it's a beautifully controlled, disciplined chaos, kind of like the universe. You know what I mean? It follows a certain rules of physical laws, and within those laws you have what is created here. Okay? So with that in mind, let's go to the next points. Okay, something that every pro is going to tell you to do is to know as many tunes as possible. On a gig, you're going to have to function this way. People are just going to call out tunes, and you're going to have to know them. All right? Not only kind of know them, you have to know them. Now, some things you may be able to get away with, if the structures are similar, but in the end, people are going to know that you're not playing the song, because there's lots of hits and stuff like that. So there's no excuse, you have to know a bunch of tunes. One of my teachers, Steve Houghton, told me when I was studying with him many years ago, you have to know at least 200 tunes, 200 standards to be able to function as a jazz drummer in any situation. Okay, so in those 200 tunes, you're going to notice a lot of similarities and a lot of things that are different. And you have to get inside the song, remember, to not sound like that. The abandoned, aimless train. You could be a powerhouse of independence and chops and all that stuff, but if you don't have your tracks, the structure, the resolution points, you're like that. The abandoned train, a total wreck. A musical wreck. Now what you have to do in order to achieve these 200 songs is you're going to have really good discipline in two areas: in passive listening and active listening. Active listening. What is active listening? Is when you, for example, take a chart. This is what I used to do. I'd get the chart of the tune, I'd play the song I play it on the record, on the CD, whatever, and I'd watch the chart go by. So I would put my finger on each measure as it went by to know where even the chords were changing, okay, and to keep track of the structure of the song. Very, very important. Then perhaps the next step is just playing along with the song, okay? Play along, just simple, just play along and try to match key points like the resolution points and the structural changes that you hear the original drummer on the track. That's what I did a lot. And then I ended up transcribing the tunes, but whatever. You can do that or not do that. I would prefer, if you did transcribe. I didn't transcribe 200 jazz standards, but I did a lot of it when I was young. The next part is passive listening. Passive listening is just listening while you're doing your daily routine, going about your chores or, cooking, whatever it is. You have to develop a passion for each tune. It has to be memorized. If you can, you're gonna sing it, sing along to it. Even, sing parts of the solos. I love to do that when I hear some great part of a solo that I really love. It's hard to do with like Charlie Parker and stuff like that because it's so complex. It's so amazing. But you can sort of sing maybe even the rhythm. You don't have to hit the exact notes, but just to get inside, the soloist head. So when you're playing on a gig, then you can have all that phrasing already going in your mind. That's a great thing. So that's passive listening. Okay, just going about your day, listening to the tunes, listening in your car, making them a part of your life. Now, this goal of 200 songs, that's a pretty daunting task. So what you have to do is break down your task into chunks. You have to organize your listening time. All right, you have to organize yourself in general, but this is something you have to organize as much as you organize your practice time. One thing you might want to consider when you're breaking it in this whole thing into chunks is have a goal of learning 2 songs per week. 2 songs per week, that's not so bad. At the end of the week, you'll have 8 tunes. So at the end of the month, I would say, you'll have 8 tunes. So, if you go this way slowly, it becomes an enjoyable process. Don't push yourself, don't force yourself, don't make it a torturous ordeal, because it's no fun that way. You have to really think about breaking everything down into chunks, and if you can get to 20 tunes, that's a great accomplishment. 20 tunes. Maybe in a few months or 6 months you'll have 40 tunes, or 80, depending on how dedicated you can be to this whole process. But that's really good. 80 tunes, man, you're on your way in less than a year. Okay, so if in 1 year you can have 100 tunes, it's going to last you a lifetime, because as a player you're going to be playing that music all the time. Hey, there's no hill too tough to climb. Let's see if that's true. All right, these are rocks intended for the railway tracks. Yeah, all right, nice view. Hey, look, we're making some progress. That's a little more modern train. Now we're getting somewhere, eh? ready to sit down at the kit, there's something very important that you're going to have to continue to think about. That's making each section stand out. You can consider each section of a tune kind of like a station. Each station has this distinct colors or shapes. Something you can think about in this area is your cymbal setup. Okay, we've talked about this many times, but changing cymbals at the correct time helps you to give each section a different color, different texture, and of course, depending on who's soloing, you know, what instrument is soloing, you want to keep that in mind. You know, if you only have two cymbals, you have to control the dynamics a lot of each cymbal and make sure that your cymbals have a purpose, you know, in their sound. Putting colors and different things into the music is essential for drums. Each station should have its own particular color. One thing that you can lean on that's very, very common thing to do, and a lot of songs start off this way, is by having what's called the two feel. Now the two feel, what it does, it gives the feeling of halftime, even though the tempo is in 4/4. Let's say 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Okay, that's kind of the thing that you can do. I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment. When you do your two feel, you can do a real typical, like kind of traditional two feel, or you can do a real broken up two feel, which is kind of more modern. But of course you have to be careful where you're playing that, who you're playing that with. You know, if you're doing a singer, a lounge gig or something, you don't want to get too crazy. You want to make sure that you're serving the music always. 1 2 3 4. One, two, three, four. Don't overload yourself with tasks or be too much in a hurry to do all this stuff, because this is a lifetime's worth of work. Take your time, enjoy the process. So remember to keep all these things in mind. If you follow these guidelines, let's say, they're pretty much essential work that you need to do more than guidelines. But you can go from this to this.